Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton Daily Live. But before we get into the Daily Live, did you know you can fly direct to Marrakesh from Liverpool John Lennon Airport? It's a new country, a new continent, and there's so much to see and do. Fly Liverpool to Marrakesh in 2026 with EasyJet and Ryanair. Book now at easyjet.com and ryanair.com. But there's more. This season, we're in partnership with Liverpool John Lennon Airport. And as a result of that, we have got a competition for you. We're going to give away a pair of flights to Marrakesh. How good is that? You can get a pair of return flights from Liverpool John Lennon Airport to Marrakesh, a VIP airport experience that includes fast-track parking, fast-track security, and access to the new Aspire Executive Lounge. And as well as that, you're also going to get a piece of Toffee TV merchandise of your choice. Now, to win it, we're going to put words up. We're going to give you one word each Friday. There's going to be 4 words, so you have to watch the Friday show and make a note of the words. When you've got the 4 words, you're then going to be eligible to enter into the draw. So how about that? All you have to do to have a fantastic holiday is book your accommodation. You're going to win free flights from Liverpool to Marrakesh. It's tremendous. So look out for the word. The first one I'll be saying at some stage in today's live. I'm joined in the studio by John. John?
I can't go in for this, not allowed.
No, neither am I. Sadly, neither's James. And he's wounded. James is wounded that he can't get in.
Gutted.
You gutted, aren't you? James is full on like, I might be able to go to Marrakesh.
He had a sunny day planned that said he was winning it.
Sorry. But, I mean, fantastic prize.
It is terrific, yeah.
Fantastic prize.
And the airport's brilliant because it's a lot easy. Everything's easy.
Yeah, the airport's gone up so much, improved all the time. But you've been to Morocco and been to Marrakesh, haven't you?
And Casablanca. So if you win it, get a car to Casablanca as well. But yeah, it's an Arab type country. So different continent, as it says, because it's North Africa. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I go back again. That's probably the best way to say it.
It was a January, maybe?
Yeah, we went for a bit of sun.
Bit of winter sun. You loved it,
yeah, it was good.
So, I've never been, so that'd be, and not that I can enter and win anyway, but, Marrakesh, but obviously flying from Liverpool Airport makes it so much easier.
It does.
Brilliant prize, absolutely fantastic prize. So if you're interested, you can enter into that just by listening out for today's first word that, like I said, will be revealed at some time in today's show. David Moyes has just finished his pre-match press conference ahead of our trip to Fulham tomorrow. You'll be there. I won't be at Fulham tomorrow, and I'm gutted. Zach's got an important game in the morning, and one of them. But you'll be there.
It's your go-to away, isn't it?
I love Fulham. Well, I'm going to Brentford, so there you go.
Good one.
Still down south. Tricky game. Both teams 9th and 10th or 10th, whatever it is.
Same points.
Same -1 goal difference. But an opportunity, 2 points off 7th place. Big opportunity tomorrow. As tough a game as it'll be, but a big opportunity for Everton to climb the table.
I think so, yeah. And, we want to keep getting points, don't we? And in a way, a product of that is the league position. And I'm not totally sure because I haven't checked it myself, but I think I saw somewhere on social media that with the League Cup stuff going the way it is, that 7th will get Europe this season.
At the moment, yeah.
At the moment.
It can carry on going down.
And it can carry on going down on FA Cups and stuff. So, we've talked about it till the cows come home, really, about this season is one of those where, it's so tight that these sorts of games are really important. Clearly, as you've just said, the way you've done the points and the goal difference, it's goals scored that keeps them above us. And if we were to win 1-0, then our goal difference gets better by 1, but theirs gets worse by 1. So you know what I mean. So we end up.
It's just science, John.
Yeah,
really.
Absolutely, mathematics. Yeah. So and we have a good time down there usually. And the manager has loads of choices to make, which is good because the injuries are obviously Jack's not available, but Miko's back, and he has selection decisions, not just to who starts, but who even gets on the bench, which is a great place for him to be in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, it's an opportunity for Everton. It's a tough one, but it's an absolute opportunity for to go and put not a marker as such, because if Everton won there, but everyone be like, wow, that's a marker. But it is sort of saying to them teams around you, we're in this for the scrap. You know, we've got them on tomorrow, and we've got Bournemouth at home on Tuesday, and we've got to start winning home games. Home form's nowhere near the level it should be.
Absolutely right.
But a win tomorrow, and then you'd be looking at Villa away, Brighton away, and Fulham away, and going 7 points out of 9. You know, that's a really good return from
for anybody.
Real tough away games.
For anybody.
Even a point, I mean, the win is what we should be going for, but even a point, you'd look and go 5 out of 9 unbeaten in them 3 away games. That's not bad. But I do think, see, for me, they're a better attacking side than Brighton. Yeah. But I do also think they give you more opportunities than Brighton at the other end. So, you know, they'd be looking exactly the same, won't they? Going, these are right next to us, beat them. We've got a 3-point buffer, you know, and
their goal difference is the same as ours, but they score a lot more goals. So by definition, they must concede a lot more as well. So that's what that's about. And, you know, we've had a number of seasons, haven't we, where we're saying, for negative reasons, we have to beat the teams around us. If we beat the teams around us now, it will push us up the league because it's so tight. And, you know, let's just do what Moisey does. Has really good second halves of seasons. The window's closed. There's no distractions. We're not in the cups and any of that. Neither are they, I suppose. But, yeah, absolutely. Let's finish the season well. Let's average 1.5 points per game or better. And we'll be right in there in the mix for European football next season, which is a great place to be when you think a year ago when David walked through the door, we weren't as bad as the other fella made us look, but we're still laying down foundations, getting young players, all that sort of stuff, built on a solid, you know, back four and DM type stuff. So, yeah, optimistic. Let's just turn that optimism into points, though.
That's it.
And we have to do it now, for sure.
That's it. I mean, it's there for us. It's there for us. We've got a great opportunity. Most of the squad's fit and ready to go. And, you know, Everton have got 14 games to go, 42 points to play for. If Everton, you know, if we got half points, I think we'd be in with a shout, giving out that. But a bit more than half, I think we'd have a great opportunity. So this is one of those games. It is a tough game. Don't worry about that. It's a tough, tricky game, but it's an opportunity for it's a real opportunity for Everton to get them 3 points and go, well, there's the first 3 points out the way. Beat Bournemouth on Tuesday. You'd be absolutely flying, wouldn't you? So,
And so what we're saying is that middle ranking of mid-50s for points sounds like it'll get Europe.
Possibly, it'll be close to it, I think.
If it stays close.
If it stays doing what they're doing, then by virtue of it, everyone will be taking points off each other.
That's
it will be mid to high 50s, and getting half points puts Everton right on.
Well, that's my 1.5 points a game between now and the end of the season.
And it'll be my 55 points that I went for at the start. So
the high end of yours,
it's a real opportunity. But you've got to win games. It's that easy saying it. We've had 4 or 5 chances already, and we've not really taken them. So, you know, let's go there and let's really put a marker down to go, no, we're going to have a right good go at this now for the rest of the season and see what. And like I say, if we can't win it, don't lose it, because it keeps them right by us. It doesn't let them get any headway.
I'd just say, you know, if we're going to end up drawing a score draw, can we get the equaliser, you know, a bit sooner?
It was sweet that it was so
late. It's great fun when it's so late, but you have to go through the crap up to that point to have the ecstasy of, oh my goodness, you know, last kick of the game job, you know.
The Pies, Julie's been on a few times. She will come in again. Need to speak to her and ask her to come in. Daniel Barton says Marrakesh, can he play right back? I don't know. Possibly. What about even play both of them? Who knows? RCUD 9UN says Marrakesh, can we send some scouts there to get some decent footballers? There you go.
That's your job if you win.
Exactly.
You can be that scout.
Yeah. No, brilliant. Like I say, you know, get yourself some couple of great, you know, flights. All you got to do is sort your accommodation out. Great part of the world, as John said, and it's a tremendous competition, and we're delighted to be in partnership with Liverpool John Lennon Airport. Gary Ledger says, afternoon, lads, I'll be at Fulham tomorrow.
Good man.
Right, mate. Is right. I was going to say then, seeing something I'm going about Dwight, where are we? Andrew says, I think McNeil has had a hard time from Evertonians this season, Baz. Do you think we need to be more supportive of our own? Yeah, and that includes Tieno Barry and other players who people have a go at. Listen, you can agree that Dwight McNeil isn't good enough for what we want, and you can also want him to do well when he plays. The same with Michael Keane.
The set's falling down a little bit.
The same with Ped knocked it yesterday. That's why. Same with Michael Keane.
Yeah.
Michael Keane. Should he play over Jared Brantwaite? Absolutely not. But you still want him to do well every time he pulls an Everton shirt.
Once they're on the pitch.
Dwight McNeil plays tomorrow. I want him to score a hat-trick because it means Everton will have a good chance of winning the game. But people have had a go at Beto, they have a go at Barry, they have a go at whoever they feel like that, with Tarkowski, whoever. But most fans do support the players. They really do. And people are emotional at times. But one thing I would say is Dwight McNeil is a little bit gutted that he hasn't gone. He did want to leave. And we were okay. It was a mutual decision for him to go, and we're fine with him going.
Win-win.
That's
Absolutely.
fine. There's no issue. It's football. Players, teams improve, and players are left behind. There's no problem with that at all. That's football. Because if you just go, well, we'll just keep everyone, then stay near the bottom of the league. You're never going to improve, and eventually you get relegated like Wolves. So,
correct.
You're always trying to improve. And that's all we are. But yeah, absolutely support the lad. If he's on the pitch, if he's in the squad, you support him. No one needs to get personal. We have this too often. We had Tieno Barry the other week saying he sees all the stuff that people put on social media, calling him the worst player ever and the worst striker ever. It's just nonsense.
Totally.
It's nonsense. And the lad's been here 2 minutes. So yeah, support them all. You can go, I wouldn't play him today, or it's okay to say, don't think Tieno Barry had a good game. That's no issue with that. It's football. Whenever we've played games, we'll have all played well and played terrible. It's just life. Every player goes out to play well, don't they? Every single one.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Once the manager picks his team or his squad, once they're on the pitch, you
don't have to agree with David Moyes' team, but you're going to back him, aren't you?
You would not be telling... Sorry, putting words in other. I would not be telling the truth if I said I'm not disappointed sometimes when I see the starting 11. I'm really disappointed with the bench because often it is what it is. But the starting 11's within the gift of the manager. He has an opinion, and there are at least a couple of players who, if they're in the starting 11 when others are available, I'm really disappointed. But do I then start to slag those players off? No.
You want them to do well.
Absolutely. And Tieno Barry has scored some goals, and certainly last week at the away game, he was feeling, and I even tweeted about it, he was feeling the love before the game started, in warm-up, the rather bland song that we have for him, but at least we're singing his name and stuff. And therefore, it can turn quickly.
And he created the best chance of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know what happens when Michael Keane, he does devastating things in their box, how much love he gets as well. So that's what you want. Be disappointed if you don't think that player should have played before that player, or that formation is not the best in your opinion, blah, blah, blah. But once the whistle goes, or once they cross the white line type thing, we want them to be the very best version of themselves that they can be, and slagging them off from the terraces isn't going to help that.
No. And the other thing is, though, we can move past players, and there's the same as sort of Tyler Dibbling and Tyreik George will be potentially be the future, and Dwight McNeil won't be. And so Dwight McNeil will move on in the summer. Beto, for me, will move on in the summer. Michael Keane, possibly will move on in the summer. Who knows with Michalenko? He might stay, he might not. Everton might have 2 left-backs lined up, or 1 and Asnu. And all of that. That's football. It all moves on. You can get better, go and get better. That just means players are at different levels. It's like any job, isn't it? Doesn't mean the person's terrible, or the player, you just move on. So yeah, maybe We're all guilty of it. We all get frustrated with players. We all believe some players should play and some others shouldn't. That's football. It's a game of opinions. But let's at least try to back them. Or at the very least, let's not slag them off. You can say you don't think someone's good enough without calling them the worst footballer you've ever seen, or they're a disgrace, or they're this or they're that. You can just go, for me, he's not good enough for what we want, or whatever. So, anyway, some more positive news. Lewis Burns said, I'm sat with my newborn baby girl watching another blue in the world. Congratulations,
well
Lewis.
Done.
Hope your partner's fine, and obviously your baby girl. So congratulations.
We need names. News. What's the name? Excellent
news. Gary Ledger does say, I hope he sticks with Jared left back tomorrow. Interesting. Well, he did sort of talk about him, didn't he?
It's a good call. He won't be scared of making decisions. Miko's fit. I personally would expect him to start Miko. And then Jared will move in and Michael will go to the bench, because I guess he'll still play
O'Brien
at right backs, you know. So, and there is an argument to say put Patterson in, but I think it's unlikely.
Gary Ledger also said McNeil shouldn't play tomorrow. His head won't be in it to give it 100%.
I'm not sure.
I still think Armstrong will play on the right. Will start, and then George will be the sub.
Yeah, I think that's most likely. Call it the team that played last time with the swap of bringing Mykolenko back in, and that's probably not far wrong.
Do you think? I don't know whether he'll just leave the four as they be, the four centre back, just because of what he said today. He sort of was like, I've thought about it before. I was thinking, but you might be right. You might just go Miko jog back in, Jared next to Taki, O'Brien at right back. He might do that. Mykolenko did score there last year, of course. So you never know. Sometimes,
but we know when
like that.
Maybe me, have talked about him thinking, is O'Brien and Tarkowski less effective than O'Brien at right back and Michael Keane there? And if you look at them as both as centre backs, you'd say, well, O'Brien starts. But if you look at the unit, we always end up with O'Brien at right back, don't we? And maybe, just maybe, the manager thinks the same, because Jared is so cool on the ball. Yeah,
but he might. He's
not going to overtake anyone, is he? But he might think that in die down there's not going to be a lot of overlapping anyway.
I don't know.
He's got choices there.
They get forward. But he might think Harry Wilson's a real, and he is their main threat at the minute. Although they have got Kevin, who scored a cracker last week, and they've got Oscar Bob as well. But he might look and think Wilson's the main threat cutting in. And I just say to Micho, go and do your normal man-to-man.
Yeah.
Go and just follow him.
But he has a track record of sorting that.
And then Branthwaite will just slot back alongside Taki.
Yeah.
So, but you're right, there's options there. Mr. Blue Sky says, pick for Branthwaite, Taki, O'Brien, Patterson, Garner, Dewsbury, All, Garner, George and Jai and Barry. That'd be his team. Interesting. Stephen Evans says, I hope he doesn't use the four centre-backs. Tim Dawson says, can we get the 24 points needed to challenge for Europe? 56 points, I think we need.
Yes, we can.
We can do. But you just never ever know, do you? You never know. But it's there for us. 8 wins in 14. Sounds like a lot, but what if you went, 6 wins, 6 draws, 2 defeats? Or 7 wins, 3 draws. No, hang on. Yeah, 7. Well, hang on, what are we on here? 7 wins, 21. 5 draws, that's 12. Still leaving me with 2 defeats, isn't it? 2 defeats seems not loads.
It seems to me, because if you're doing
win 9 and lose 5, don't draw any more games.
I was about to say,
job done.
It's one of those where, and it perhaps applies to other teams as well, where draws look good in the sense 7 undefeated or whatever, but if they're all draws, it doesn't really help you. So if you're in that cusp of a moment and you end up, what you just said, if you want 27 points, have 9 wins and lose all the others, because it's the behaviour that might cause you to lose those 5 games is the same one that might have you winning 9, you know. So first mission is get double-figure wins. Could start that tomorrow, couldn't we? Because at 9 we've won so far. Let's win 10, then 11, then 12.
Tim said Dwight didn't look to leave. Palace made an offer and Everton accepted it. He decided after that he didn't. He wanted to go. And I think he wanted to go in August, to be honest, Tim. If you read around and look at what has gone on and what people have said around it, he did. But he probably does want to leave because he doesn't get in anymore. He's 26 and wants first team football. I have no problem with players doing that. Lads wanted to go and play. We've had too many players in our squad over the years who don't really want to play. They're just quite happy to go, I'll sit on the bench. Not really bothered. You know, there's been a few of them and they've walked out the door for nothing. They haven't really been bothered. So if Dwight wants to go and play, good luck to him. But I think there's a fine line, or there's a line between going, let's not give the lad stick. No issue with that. That's the correct line. And, we were forcing him out, really. The club, he doesn't want to go, and we all have to get behind him. Back him, because he's an Everton player, but the lad did want to go. I think if you read around it, he did want to go.
I don't think the player, any player, but this player in this situation should get any sympathy that results in him getting more minutes than he would if it hadn't happened. We can all look from afar, and the manager, I think, was good for David to say it, that I don't know what went on, but I know it wasn't Everton's fault, which is crystal clear. So anyway, no pun intended. Everyone watching that, Palace didn't have a great moment from a public relations perspective, but they just come back into training the day after. It didn't happen.
Footballer, isn't it?
Just like if he'd been walking in yesterday or whenever it was, Tuesday, into the Palace dressing room, they wouldn't be saying, "Oh, your mate's missing you," and I don't care. I'm moving on now. Sort of thing.
It's football,
and they're millionaires, but they want to play.
I have no problem.
They're millionaires, but they want to play.
I have no problem with the lad wanting to move. None whatsoever, because the football clubs at any time will cut players. No problem.
Brutally.
No problem. Same with managers. They'll just sack you at the drop of a hat if they don't like what you're doing. So if a player thinks, I'm not getting in and I want to go, no problem. No issue.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
And the graphic example of that is the reason that this is still being talked about all these days later is because Dwight's misses expose what goes on behind the scenes, which is fundamentally Crystal Palace all over Dwight and his misses like a rash, moving hundreds of miles, changing your life, blah, 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 and then turn the lights off and went home. And it's that horrible brutality bit at the end which really hurts people, and there's no need for it. But it happens. And so you brush down, disappointed, right, I better do what I need to do, get minutes in this team then. Otherwise, I'm going to have 5 or 6 months of doing all the hard yards in training and never showing it on a pitch.
Well, he's playing for his next move now,
Absolutely.
Isn't he? And there's no issue with that either.
Well, we talked about it in the week. He should make sure he's number one in training. Make the manager pick you. That's every player's job, isn't it? Make the manager want to pick me. And that's your job.
Yeah, absolutely. Everton, just going on the thing, if Everton only need 22 points to get to that 56, don't they?
That's right, yeah.
So 22 points, 7 wins, 1 draw.
How you been working it in?
6 defeats. That seems, or 7 wins, 2 draws, 5 defeats. That to me doesn't seem massively out of the question. We've got Burnley at home and Sunderland at home, 2 that promoted.
Absolutely.
Bournemouth at home, who are beatable. There's 3. That should be, in my opinion, 3 home wins.
Has it said what places again European spots this year?
Down
It's down to 7th at the moment.
7th.
So hopefully a Champions League club will win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Then it goes to 8th. And then...
Does the Carabao Cup, was it them 2 being in Europe affect it?
Yeah, goes down.
Oh, that's the 7th.
That's why it's gone to 7.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, it could go to 9th. I seen something the other day saying it could go to 9th. It needs a few things to happen. But England could be awarded the place because they're so strong in Europe.
I was going to say, is that not a thing again where you get the extra Champions League one and then would it be 8th?
Club. With the FA Cup, it goes to 8th. As long as a Champions League team wins the FA Cup.
What happens if a Champions League team wins the Champions League?
Who doesn't qualify?
Oh, does qualify? So like Arsenal win the Champions League.
Oh, they won the Champions League? I don't know then. Because they've already got the places winning the league.
Is it Villa?
Because last year, It's Villa in the Europa League. Yeah.
So if they won it and they got Champions League, would then it go to 9th?
Seen something the other day saying it could go to 9th. Last season, it could go to 11th at one stage if everything worked out. It didn't, but it went down to 8th or 9th, whatever it was.
If you want to be confused by it, if one of the Premier League teams won the Europa League, they go in the Champions League. If they qualified for Europe, it would go down again.
What if Villa? But what if, like James said, so if Aston Villa win the Europa League, which they look the most likely to, Forest won't win it, but Villa might. But Villa finish in the Champions League anyway, what happens? Because that's a Champions League place.
Yeah.
I think the Champions League places might very well be nominated by the league. So I think we'd be back round that loop of having 6 teams in the Champions League.
What I would say is there's a chance it goes to 8th, right?
It can go to
There's
9th.
a good chance it goes to 8th. I don't know whether it'll go to 9th, but there's a good chance it goes to 8th. Therefore, just finishing the top 8, Everton.
Yeah.
8th last year was 61 points.
I don't think it'll be 61 this year. I think it'll just be a bit less than that. I reckon 56 isn't a bad shout. I think, because I think a lot of teams are
The year
still...
before that was 60.
Yeah.
I'll look through them. Year before that was 60. 52 the year before.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be.
So you just don't know. Daniel, I was just counting out what we'd have to do with games left, how many defeats. I didn't say we'd only lose 2 when we've got Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, City and United. Mind you, we have got Liverpool, City and United at home now. We beat Liverpool and we'll beat United. So City, we don't do very well against. But let's see what happens.
Win 8 or 9 games, and we'll be in Europe. That's where you.
They won 8 games, yeah. They've been in Europe.
Yeah.
Play, win, lose.
Yeah.
Win
Absolutely.
8, lose 6.
Yeah. We've got what? 14 games left.
Win 8, lose 6. You've got 58 points. I reckon you're getting in Europe with
Win
that.
more
You're very
games.
Close.
Do it this way then. Win more games than we lose, and we'll be all right.
And you're giving yourself a good chance.
Absolutely.
7 wins, 2 draws, 5 defeats. That feels about right, doesn't it? Feels like Everton could do that in 14 games.
Yeah.
Because they're still,
And anything can happen.
I mean, we only lost 4 in 19 under Moyes last season, and we were shite. And they were all to Champions League teams, weren't they? Liverpool, City, Chelsea. And who was the other one? It must be Arsenal.
Here's
3 with Arsenal.
Here's another soundbite then.
Someone else.
Win more points at home than you do away.
Because currently we're on more away than we are at home, aren't we?
Oh.
But let's get another 3 away tomorrow. That's what I would
win
do.
tomorrow, win on Tuesday, and we'll all get really excited.
Get 6 points and get me on 40 points on Tuesday night at 10, please. Right. Tyreik George. David Moyes.
Is that how you say it, Tyreik?
Tyreik.
He's Ty, isn't he?
David Moyes was just asked about him. I am... Imagine I couldn't have been less surprised by his answer. He's a young player and this, that and the other. He's cover for Jack Grealish, blah, 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 right? But Tyreik is coming in from Chelsea. He's already scored in the Champions League this season. He's played 11, or he's been on the pitch 11 times for Chelsea. He's got 3 goals, 1 assist already, which in Everton's team we'd be lauding
Right
him already, wouldn't we? Did well last season, of course. Something different, can play right the way across the front 3. The manager even referenced him playing through the middle as well. And he said that's given me something to think about. So I don't know what that means for Beto, but it'll be a different option, and that's something that when I referenced sort of Francolino Jew, when Evan have watched him on so many occasions, that was what he brought. He can play wide and he goes through. He's predominantly through the middle, but he can play wide. Tyreik George is predominantly a wide player who can play through the middle. So I think it's given David Moyes a bit of comfort there. I've almost got 2 for 1. But just listening to what he was saying and what you sort of know about the player, do you think that he's just going to become a sub for Everton, or do you expect him to get into the side and then and go from there? What do you think by Moyes' comments? How he's looking at him more so?
How he's looking at him, I personally would expect he'd be on the bench this weekend. but he will come on.
Yeah.
And he'll start against Bournemouth.
Interesting.
On the left.
Yeah, he did talk about that.
With Ndiaye going back over to the right. We need to see how Ndiaye performs, because he's been looking a bit leggy and a bit different on the left.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So let's see if he reverts to being... If he stays like that, and then you move him over, and all of a sudden he's tearing it up again, right? And some of that's down to who's behind you and all that sort of stuff, isn't it? But I don't know. I'm just thinking about the way David's brain works. He can't help himself talking about Premier League experience, but he didn't really do that for Tyreik. What he said was he's got plenty of first team experience, which means, to me, I'm not bothered about throwing him in there.
Yeah.
But he's been here a couple of days training, and we're away from home. Therefore, it would not surprise me if he's on the bench.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like it wouldn't surprise me what you said, which is, and Harrison Armstrong's on the right, so your Dibbling's coming in or anything like that. Right? But it just is back around those options again. And I'll be blunt about my views. David isn't great when he's got options, because if they're marginal decisions on who to start or whatever, he will fall back on what he knows and works, which is safety first, which you can do away from home. You know, and if he can bring, a pacey guy who can play on the left, down the middle, whatever, on with 20 minutes to go in a game, which we're right in, then that's far more productive from his perspective than throwing him in at the beginning and firing blanks and being taken off, right? And then at home, you've got to be much more on the front foot. And then Tyreik becomes, his job when he does come on is to make sure he starts at the home game. Yeah. And if he tears it up in front of Hill Dickinson, then the fans will love him almost from day one, won't they?
I think, he's had 4 appearances, had 143 minutes of Premier League football this season. He's had 2 yellow cards.
Yeah, it's not a lot, yeah.
He's had more in the Champions League, 4 appearances, 1 goal, and in the Carabao Cup, 3 appearances, 2 goals. That's where he's had most of his minutes, 191 there. So he has sort of been sub or whatever for Chelsea. Last season, obviously, had an excellent season.
Did he play in all the conference?
He played in the conference. I think he played 12 out of 13 or something.
Most then, yeah.
Last season, which is excellent from his perspective.
World Club champion, presumably?
World Club champion, yeah.
2 of them we've got now.
We have, and it's important. I mean, just looking at him overall, he's had his 35 games of being on the left wing, 11 as a striker, 11 as a right winger. Scored most of his goals playing as a left winger. Okay. But has scored as a striker. He's got 35 games on the left, 11 goals, 11 assists, which is not bad. So I think he's definitely a player who, like I said before, gives us something a bit different than what we've got. Can play anywhere across that front 3. The manager did sort of reference today, comfortable on the left, comfortable, is equally comfortable on the right, which I think that's a great thing to have again, because if he gets in a team with him and Jai, then there can be a situation in the game where you just flip them. You just go on the other side and the boat, just the other side, off the wings, and it's not really going to affect either one. So I think that's a good position to be in. He's nice and bright, strikes a ball, I keep saying this, but he does strike the ball really cleanly. When you watch him, hits through the ball. And I think, again, getting Everton into that age bracket of, he was 20 on Wednesday.
Happy birthday, yeah.
Great age. I know The Athletic had done a bit on him in the last couple of days, saying that he's determined to earn a permanent move to Everton. Good. That's his goal. He's coming in and he wants to sort of get playing regularly, wants to come to Everton, do well and sign here permanently. Good. And, put some roots down for now and do well. And he's exactly the type of player we should be looking for. Talked a few times about Manchester City's younger players. We spoke this thing last week when we were talking about it. Or it might have been deadline day. Chelsea have got good younger players. I noticed there's something about Liam Delap today, couple of people saying, and one of them, it's Gabby Agbon, the horse, you can throw it in the bin normally, but he was saying, I said at the time he should ignore Chelsea and go to Everton, because the step up from Ipswich to Everton either been, and also a big part of it, would have developed better at Everton, whereas now he's at Chelsea and he's hit and miss, and it's sort of like, to be honest, it feels like a transfer Everton could do in the summer, Liam Delap. either a loan or a payment to come in alongside Tierno Barry. Don't know whether they'd be looking like that, but who knows? I mean, Dewsbury Hall, and we've got Breuer there, haven't we? We've got George. Now there seems to be
people whispering in people's ears.
Well, maybe, and maybe one of them is they get first dibs on Branthwaite or something. They've gone the other way,
Find
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think for him, if he can come in and that is his end game, is I want a permanent deal here.
Should be.
Then this is a really positive and promising move for him and for us as a football club.
Totally. And when we talk about Armstrong, and what I've said about Armstrong when we referenced the manager's preparedness to use young players, is he finds it easier, the manager, to play younger players in certain positions, i.e. not offensive ones.
Yeah.
Right? But if Tyreik comes along, works really, really hard, and starts getting picked, then Mr. Dibbling's going to wake up to the fact that maybe it's me, isn't he? I can... and seeing the photos of them being buddies on training pitches and stuff like that. And David can just kill stone dead this perception, which I think is at best jury's out and at worst flawed, that he won't play youth. He will when he sees that they are ready, whatever ready means. Yeah. And I think
Well, he plays Armstrong.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but...
And Armstrong's younger than the parent.
No. My point is... Armstrong plays in a role and a style of play which is easier for David to trust, right? If you've got we'll call him a creative player just for words, on one side who's 19, 20 now, getting picked because he's done all the right things, then the guy on the other side who isn't getting those minutes has to think, well, I can't use age as my excuse.
Yeah.
Minimally. I can't say, he doesn't like young players, because he's playing them. And we then find ourselves right where we want to be with players who are good enough to be in our team, or 3, 4, 5 years younger than the sort of players we would have got in recent years. And we're getting them pre-prime, aren't we? Which is then when you say, well, to get him or to do this, that and the other, maybe we give someone first dibs on Branthwaite. Then you think, well, that's not too bad, in the sense of you've got a bird in the hand then when it comes time to sell, if you do choose to sell. But you want to get into a situation where you don't want to sell.
Yeah.
If you're 25 or less in our squad, you go nowhere.
Absolutely.
That's the default.
That's how we build, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the default. And you all grow together. And if someone comes along with a bid you just can't refuse, and you've highlighted who you want to bring in as their replacements, and that's the succession planning thing, yeah, fine. And then when you get a player who's a bit older, maybe Ndai fits into this, who you think, what we're seeing is as good as he gets, right? And he can keep scoring 7, 8, 9, 10 goals in the right kind of team, but that's all that's going to happen. Sounds quite dismissive, that, doesn't it, when you think about how hard goals are? But then if somebody else comes along and says, we'll give you X for him, you might find it easier to sell an Ndai than you would to sell a Branthwaite. Because of the age profile, because of the ceiling, they're still developing, all those sorts of things. And the idea that there's 3, 4, God knows how many players who are starters for us right now, who a year from now might be where Dwight is. You're trying to get on the bench, never mind get in the team. That's called progression.
It is. And
the worst thing in the world is to have someone better than you who's younger than you, isn't it? If you're looking, going, Baz is getting in this team before me and he's 3 or 4 years younger, I need to go somewhere else, if I want to play.
I think for me, when I look at it, I just see him, and I remember having a chat with James in August about this when he was going to Fulham. It looked like saying he really should be one we should be going after. He's bright, he can play both sides, he's got a shot on him, he's good 1v1, quite direct. We don't really have that in our squad, and that's why I like the signing, because he is different to what we have. He doesn't necessarily chew the ball all the time. He's a player who will cut in and get a shot. So I think we see little bits in training already. Just some of the stuff they've put out. He's trying to work that left foot. Puts one in the far corner. All of those little things that we don't have right now. We've got dribblers. I think for Tyler Dibbling, when he's looking at Tyreik George, as well as knowing him, they know each other and all that.
From the 21s, I guess, yeah.
Hopefully that'll give him some comfort. It's got a mate now. And hopefully they can get to a position where they're sort of playing in the same position. So one's doing 65 minutes and the other one's taking the load off him, and then they're doing that while they battle to try and force that to make the manager think about Njai somewhere else. The manager might think about George through the middle, and that gives Dibbling a route into the team. But I think getting a player like Tyreik George in, I think will boost everybody. Again, I've spoken a lot about the importance that Everton had to do something this window. They had to, for me, because it's about that perception that you're still moving forward. Okay, the manager said today, would have liked to have done more.
That's good.
Brilliant. So we can talk about that in a minute, where we go to with that, because what the headlights now and the focus now should be right. When the summer hits, bang, we're going. Early. We're not sitting around again. So that we're on tour and we're interviewing the manager and he's saying,
failing in some departments.
We're failing, and let's be ready to take that on. Getting Tyreik George in and having him, Dibbling, Illiman and Jai, and then obviously you've got Dwight McNeil and you've got Alcaraz who can play wide as well. I'd actually throw Adam Asnew in there, because I think there might be a little bit of a shout for him higher up the pitch for the last 15 of certain games with that pace. It makes us well stocked, and I do think it'll give the manager comfort in having the third striker. Now that he's referenced it, I find that really interesting today.
Your eyes popped a bit when he went, and he can play through the middle too.
Well, I know that he can.
No, I know, but the fact that he mentioned it,
the fact that Moyes has referenced it made me go, okay, all right. So you're looking as well. So I like that, because there might be times when you're looking and it isn't working for Barry, and you think he's just going to put Beto on. We're just going to do the same. And it doesn't really work for Beto when he comes on. Made up, he scored last week, and hopefully now that's the shackles off for Beto when he goes on a run. But wouldn't it be nice to go, this game we need to do something different, and it's George who goes through the middle, and he is capable of doing that thing. What I've said, what have I been saying? Why we need something different, someone who can create something on his own.
Absolutely.
Barry can't.
Yeah,
he'll finish, and he's great in the air, and we'll be given chances. And Beto is we need a certain type of ball where we might get a lad who plays through the middle who can pick it up, take someone on 1v1, get a shot away and give us something that we don't have, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
No, I think you're right, and you can also disrupt the opposition, can't you? Because when we, get to the point where the starting 11 includes George on the left, say Dyer, whatever, on the right, and Barry through the middle. In the game, those two could rotate if need be, just to be a bit disruptive, because Barry can go out wide occasionally, and you can almost say, well, let's have 10 minutes with Barry out wide, and all of a sudden these big strapping defenders are thinking, now I've got someone who wants to move off me and drag me apart and shoots every time the ball gets near his feet, and rather than a Barry who's going to win headers, and maybe again with Tyreik's bloody pace, he might be close enough to Barry when he does win those headers as well. So we can all be very optimistic, and let's see what happens when they're on the football field together.
Absolutely. So more firepower than hopefully goals. Which one thing we've not got enough of, not scored enough goals.
The daft thing is, one or two players who can give defenders issues with movement and pace. And the so-called slow players we've got will look like they've got more pace because there'll be space to move into. And we have got players who are smart at getting into free space, but you've got to drag defenders away to create it, haven't you?
The whole thing is no one moves as quick as the ball.
No, that's true.
Right? And that's fine. But you still have to have someone who's quick enough to get into the space to receive the ball. So, listen, I'm excited to see what he can bring, and hopefully the manager will use him. And listen, 1-1, and he comes on with 25 minutes to go and bags one. He did score at Craven Cottage last year. Well,
I think the best plaudit would be come towards the end of May, and the club, whatever that means, are thinking, what are we going to do with Jack Grealish?
Yeah, well, that gives us a challenge, doesn't it? Go, well, what are we doing?
Yeah, because that will mean this lad's earned his permanent move, and he's 10 years younger than Jack. Never mind,
yeah.
And you're thinking, ooh, something we thought was a no-brainer, then becomes, would we spend that money better somewhere else?
But again, then you'd go, well, yeah. It's whether you're going to spend sort of around 45 million on the pair of them. But that might be perfect for whatever we're doing. If Dwight does go, and I think he will, and Everton, I don't know, say they got 15 million for him, something like that. then immediately
Some for Beto as well.
that shake, shaves of that 45 million. I'm just using as a rough figure. That shaves 15 million off. It becomes 30 million. I'm going, well, we've got the experienced, pure quality footballer here.
Yeah.
And we've got this younger, dynamic, direct player who can also play up front. Beto goes, we get another striker, and we've got the three. We've got Dibbling out here, Lynn and Jai. All of a sudden, you're looking and going, we've got real good depth here.
Yeah.
Real good depth. But it's a conversation that we're hoping to have, aren't we?
That's what I mean.
George comes in, plays brilliantly. Everton go, we have to sign him. And then we have a conversation with Jack and with City and see what happens there. Because then, when you're looking at it that way, and let's move to the summer.
That's probably the way to do it, yeah.
The manager's referenced it. I wanted to bring more players in. Everton, we talked about it a couple of times, but I think Everton, it's very clear, certainly to me, what we need. And I'm quite sure every viewer watching knows exactly what we need.
What's that, Pass?
But we need a pair of fullbacks, right?
Absolutely.
And let's be honest, Nathan Patterson will probably leave in the summer.
Agreed.
Seamus, I imagine, will become full-time coach in the summer. So that'll leave us with Jake O'Brien, who is our third choice centre-back. So therefore, you could argue and make a good case for it. We need 2 right-backs in the summer.
Yes.
Because I don't think there's anyone, unless Finney really improves, but he's up in Scotland on loan, there's not really anyone who's going to be knocking on the door to play right-back. I know James Garner can do it at a push. And Jake can do it, of course. He's done it. And we need at least... at
least one left back.
Be like, that's my dentist. We need at least sort of one left back. And you'd hope that Asnu would sort of improve as well from that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, can I be a bit more specific?
Go on.
We need a starting left back.
Well, yeah. Well, we do.
So when we do the recruitment, because I expect it's a when.
Yeah.
The starting point is we're looking to bring in our starting left back, which means Asnu still gets time to develop.
Yeah.
And there's a decision about Mykolenko. Probably as much for him as for us, because we're saying, mate, we've just bought our starting left back, and you've been a starting left back for ages now, and you're not gonna start.
Well, again, if you look...
And he'll go, I'll prove you wrong, because he's that sort of character.
Well, it's the 6th of February.
Yeah.
Now, okay, there could be loads going on and we're just not privy to it. No problem with all that. But Mykolenko is out of contract in May.
He is.
June 30th.
Yeah.
Nothing's come out yet. It doesn't matter. And James Garner, there was nothing. Oh, he's close. Done. Right?
Yep.
So that could happen with Miko. We could find out today, tomorrow, next week.
Yep.
He signed a new whatever. But we might not. Because if David Moyes has made a decision and he's sort of like, I'm all right with him going. Because I've got A and B lined up, who, in my opinion, are better. And then we've got Adam Asnu, who I hope he's on a training, physical training programme now to get a bit stronger. Games, he'll play in pre-season, and next year he is going to be playing. And that's why if Everton could get into something like the Conference League, be amazing, be perfect.
But they'd all get minutes then,
games. Yeah. But yeah, just going back, so 2 full-backs, absolutely. One of those 2, maybe both of those wingers sign permanently, and then a striker. Midfield, there's a lot of choice in midfield.
Already.
So for me, that's probably it.
I agree.
And then you look and you go, well, both full-backs have got to be really good then. Let's try and get 2.
That's why I'm trying to use the word starter.
If West Ham went, and we could get Malik Jufar of them, that'd be fantastic. 20-year-old left-back, great up and down, great balls into the box, works hard, technically good. That'd be fantastic. Can we repeat it on the right? Well, there's a few who they've looked at. Then all of a sudden you start going, well, we've got a really good basis now. Now it becomes, can we get more goals? Can we score a few more goals? Well, we've got this striker. George can play through the middle. Barry's had Tierno can add 3 or 4 more between now and then. It'd be great if he could get 5. Then he'd hit double figures in his first season.
That's
in the
not bad
Premier
at
League.
all,
It'd be great for a striker coming in, a younger striker coming into the Premier League. And you build on that again. Then I think we'd be in a much better place next season again. And I think next season, if you could do that, you'd then be looking, going, Europe. It's got to be Europe. With what we've done, we've got a good enough team now that we can look and go, we should be getting Europe with this team, or certainly being very competitive. Other teams are strengthened, and I understand it. We've got to get up, but we're getting ourselves into a nice position. I wouldn't rule out, Irabunam or Alcaraz leaving, and Moyes bringing another midfield player in. Maybe, you know what I mean? I just wouldn't.
Well, they're your secondary decisions, aren't they, once you've dealt with the primaries? And
because Alcaraz, he's got an option, haven't we?
Yeah, but Kinnear, for example, talked about successful transfers. They play 30% of the minutes, whatever, right? I think a metric for next summer's acquisitions, and you're already, when you're explaining it, it's just then going from the top priority and then you're moving down to the next layers and stuff like that, which means the earlier you sort your priorities out, the more time you've got to play around the edges, particularly if other clubs start going, they've done this, therefore a cheeky offer for this player might work, type of thing. Would be season 26-27. The success of the summer transfer window is totally dictated whether we qualify for Europe or not. Because if we do what we do this summer and do not qualify for Europe next year, it's a failed window, because you've delayed by a year where you're supposed to be on your development. So it won't be necessarily about do they play. It'll be whether, yes, they play and we qualify for Europe. And we all expect, don't we? There's no guarantee around this one way or the other either, that maybe, just maybe, next season will be harder to get into Europe than this season, right? And that's about your risk profile, isn't it? We talked a little bit about it on BWB, but I think we're not into the space, are we, of getting huge volumes of players. But there's the question for you, Baz. How much money should we spend in the summer to really lay down a marker that, the School of Science is most definitely on its way back?
200 million.
200 mil. There
maybe 150. The thing is, I can say 200
But you start off with that view.
I can say, 200 million and go, that should be within our thing, because with everything.
Palace have spent 160 million in the last year.
So that, and we are stretching it, don't forget.
You've got regulations.
But we might not. We might not need to spend that much if you're doing it the way I'm talking about. If you're getting 2 full-backs and you're getting those 2 on the wing, and then you've got a striker, that's it. The players that we had to bring 9 and we brought 10 in with George since the summer becomes 5 this summer.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? And 2 of them who I'm talking about potentially already play for us. Well, Grealish is obviously on loan.
Want to be decided.
But hopefully George will be good enough and stay. We'll get 2 full-backs and another striker. And you go, everything else is great. We can kick it on. Now, some of that might be tempered with, we might sell. Well, we will probably, for me, sell Dwight McNeil. We'll sell Beto. And we may end up selling one of Irabunam or, I'm saying I would. I quite like both of those players.
Sure.
Irabunam or Alcaraz. Might not. Might leave them and go, no, actually they make up a nice balance of a squad.
Yeah.
So that money then drops down, because you're not needing to go, well, we need that, but you should be looking at real quality. But you could go and get a real quality centre forward, for argument's sake, and you go, how much does he cost? He's going to be 50 million quid. Or he's going to be, like, say it was Vlahovic at Juventus, who's out of contract.
Sure.
But he's on big, and you might go, well, he's not costing you anything. You have to obviously give him a signing on fee, but his wages are 200 grand a week or something. He's the highest paid player. It's 10 million, and you do it like that. But he's a real quality finisher. Could be someone else. I'm just using him as a name because he's out of contract. There's different ways. So I'm saying 200 million, but we might not even need to get near that, because when them figures come in, it should be he's almost a guarantee. If it's Ekatike and he's 80 to 90 million, and you go, he's really good though, then fine, go and spend that. That's where the majority of that money comes from.
Sure.
But I don't know whether Everton would do that right now, because who's out there who demands that, and you can get it.
And the reason I asked you the way I asked it was, and you sort of dealt with it in your answer really, which is, if last summer was all about quantity, we had to get bodies in. This one has to be about quality.
Yeah.
And the manager's default behaviour of, well, unless you can prove this left-back's better than what I've already got, why would we get them? Yeah? So you've got to start off this journey recognising, if it's me setting the boundaries of what we have to do, we need a left-back, we need a right-back, the ones we get need to be starters.
Yeah.
So when the manager goes, yes, it's because he expects to start that fella at left back and that fella at right back. Now, the interesting curveball in all of this, I suppose, if we qualify for the conference, then we'll have to be careful around our squad, right?
Yeah.
Because the ceiling on how much that squad can cost is lower than it is in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be great that we have to look into the ins and outs of exactly how squad ratio works in European competition, which I guess is how much did your squad cost you? Because you will have to mix that with players who either cost you nothing on fees, but may have a quite high salary, and vice versa, right? But we should be able to come up with 20, whatever the number of players you're allowed in that competition that comes in under the 75%, because I think we're about 85%, weren't we? Under Premier League rules. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
And so whilst I don't accept people saying we're not ready for Europe per se, there is an argument if you thought you could drive your revenues up sufficiently without European competition to actually allow you to spend more money on players for those competitions, which fundamentally means the domestic ones, but then you put pressure on yourself that you have to finish higher and higher up the league to justify it. So it's an interesting dynamic, but a nice problem to have, because we've spoken for an hour or whatever and never talked about the other way at all, have we?
No, and that's the big difference.
And that's the big credit to the owners, the chief exec and the manager. That thing that had been year after year after year, we didn't buy anyone and we're only so many points above this, that and the other. All this debate is about getting into Europe. Not about avoiding relegation.
Yeah, and that's
let's just put that in room 101, Baz.
Oh, God, please. Lash that in room 101.
Let's do a special 101 where everybody says lash that
just
in.
Lash it in. No more bloody financial fair play stuff.
Don't give a damn how SCR works, because we're not going to fail it.
Yeah, absolutely agree, John. And it's way more positive that we're looking at that. Let's hope we can grab this opportunity. Right, your first word
it's coming
in the Marrakesh competition. Remember, we are in partnership with Liverpool John Lennon Airport. We're offering you 2 free flights, return flights from Liverpool to Marrakesh. You're also getting VIP parking and
lounges,
lounge access and stuff. You have to get your own accommodation, but it's sound. You're also getting a bit of Toffee TV merchandise. The competition is going to be each Friday in the month of February. They're going to give you 1 word. Got to get to enter it. Got to have all 4 words at the end to enter into the competition. Today's word is aviation. There you go. Why wouldn't it be?
And don't tell anyone, because they might win it.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be? So finally, to finish, Fulham away tomorrow. How are you feeling? You feeling positive? What are your thoughts? Because it is a tricky game. We've done okay there, but we don't win a lot there.
No.
We did last year. There's been quite a few draws. There's been missed opportunities in some of those draws. Remember Beto heading one over from underneath the crossbar in a 0-0, sort of the 88th minute a couple of years ago. And but last year we were both there. We come from 1 down to win 3-1. It was a great sunny day. It's going to be a lot colder tomorrow next to the Thames in that lovely ground.
The more I think about it, May, isn't it?
The more I think about it, I am gutted. I'm not going. But what are your thoughts on it? Because it'll be a tricky game, but they're all going to be tricky.
When it comes to predicting, you can do it on apps and all sorts of things, can't you? Then I do err towards optimistic, right? Which is natural, I suppose, being travelling all that way and everything. And I thought we'd win the last one, and we didn't. I had a 2-1 win.
Right, okay.
So I'm going to really tempt fate this time and go with the 1-1 draw.
Okay, I like it.
So I think a draw is the likeliest outcome, and hopefully that turns into a win. But a draw, I think, is the most likely outcome.
I think if we sort of if we can get out of there without losing, I think that's all right. And it's not bad because we're adding another point on and we're staying within. But I do think it's a team around us. And I think it's a huge opportunity to put a little bit of daylight between them. Albeit it's one game. We get beat on Tuesday and they win and it's bad. But you've got to give yourself that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Haven't you? You've got to give that opportunity. But for me, I think I can see. A draw I can see, but I don't know. I feel like we might just nick it, but I don't know because
I hope we do.
They're much better than Brighton going forward. You know, and we've got to make sure we look out for Wilson on one side, Kevin on the other. But then they've got to look out for Njai, and we did score off a corner there last year. So let's do that. We're rubbish off corners. Let's whip one in. And Tarky's due a goal, isn't he? Tarkovsky's due a goal away in front of the Everton fans. Eder or something. He just is. He nearly had one last week in front of you lot till it hit Jake O'Brien on the arse.
Yeah.
But he's due whipping one in and just bullet Eder into the roof of the net and then running off celebrating. That's what he's due. And it'd be lovely for Tierno Barry to score and for Tyreik George to score.
Off the bench.
And for Inja. No, but listen, come on. Just go and win Everton, please.
They concede on average a goal and a half a game. Okay. But then they scored a goal and a half a game as well. So maybe I should have said...
1.5 draw.
Maybe I should have said 2-2.
2-2 be all right. As long as we score, we come from behind twice to get the goals.
Yeah, in added time.
Pressure, yeah. Right, that's it for the Daily Live. Hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you enter that competition. Check out the Fulham match preview that me and Ped have done. Ped will be doing his starting 11. Make sure you check that one out as well. Like, subscribe, do all that. Have a fantastic weekend for you Premier members. Business with Blaine will be out at 5 p.m. as well. See you later.